Imagine being one of the top 5 scorers in your club's Champions League history. You've delivered iconic goals, rescued the team when all seemed lost, and collected medals like Pokemon cards. And then, suddenly, your club whispers, "Thanks, but we might sell you." Welcome to Rodrygo Goes' life at Real Madrid, a player who has been both the quiet savior and the forgotten man in one of football's most glamorous teams. The golden boy who walked into shadows. Rodrygo's story began at Santos, the same football factory that gave the world Pelé and Neymar. By 17, he was dazzling in Brazil, becoming the youngest ever to score in the Copa Libertadores. Madrid swooped in 2018, dropping around 45 to 54 million euros on a teenager. That's not pocket change money, it's "we think you're the future of football" money. By 2019, Rodrygo was officially a Madridista, just a year after fellow Brazilian Vinicius Jr fans were hyped to see this teenage wonder as part of Madrid's next golden generation, and Rodrygo wasted no time showing his talent. On his La Liga debut, he scored with his very first touch, because why wait to be legendary? Soon after, in the Champions League, he bagged a perfect hat trick against Galatasaray at just 18. Only Raul had scored one at a younger age. Rodrygo wasn't just promising, he was performing. Clutch goals, quiet presence. From the start, Rodrygo showed he wasn't a flashy highlight reel player like Vinny. He wasn't about ankle-breaking dribbles or nutmegging 3 defenders just for fun. Rodrygo was calm, clinical, and ice-cold in big moments. The 2021-22 Champions League became his personal stage. In the quarterfinals against Chelsea, Madrid were on life support, 3-0 down at the Bernabéu. Enter Rodrygo, volley, goal, miracle. Madrid were alive. Then came Manchester City, injury time, Madrid needing divine intervention, and Rodrygo casually scores twice in 60 seconds. The stadium went from funeral silence to biblical ecstasy. Without him, Madrid don't even make the final. With him, they lifted the trophy. Not bad for a guy who wasn't even a nailed-on starter. The Shadow of Vinícius and the Rise of the BMV. But Rodrygo's brilliance often came with a cruel caveat: timing. Vinicius exploded in 2021 to 2022, locking down the left wing, Rodrygo's natural position, and becoming the face of Madrid's attack. By 2024, he was podium finishing and Ballon d'Or voting. Rodrygo, he became the other Brazilian winger. Madrid's marketing revolved around Vini's fireworks, while Rodrygo was quietly asked to make the right wing his new home. It wasn't his preferred spot, but Rodrygo never publicly complained. He put the team first, even shifting into striker roles when asked. Then Madrid signed Jude Bellingham and, of course, Kylian Mbappé. Suddenly, the hype machine rolled out the shiny new acronym BMV, Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius. Notice anything missing? Yeah, Rodrygo did too. His own social media team cheekily posted, "You'll have to add an R." It was later deleted, but the message was clear. Rodrygo was tired of being the forgotten Avenger. When loyalty meets frustration. The cracks began showing after the 2025 Copa del Rey final against Barcelona. Madrid lost 3-2, and whispers emerged that Rodrygo told Ancelotti's staff he wasn't in the mood to play. His camp denied it, but rumors about his motivation stuck like gum to a shoe. Then came odd absences. Fever, small knocks, missing training sessions. Meanwhile, academy kids got minutes ahead of him. Fans raised eyebrows. Behind closed doors, Rodrygo's father, also his agent, voiced frustrations publicly. Inside the club, that didn't go down well. Rodrygo returned home to Brazil that summer to reset. Meanwhile, Premier League clubs, especially Arsenal, started circling like sharks. They saw a player who could finally play in his natural left wing role. Xabi Alonso, fresh start or fresh headache? When Xabi Alonso replaced Ancelotti, optimism bloomed. Alonso praised Rodrygo, gave him attention in training, and early signs looked promising. Rodrygo seemed happier, sharper, more involved. But come match days, bench again. Alonso preferred giving minutes to youngsters like Arda Güler and Gonzalo Garcia. Fans started wondering, was this another season of Rodrygo being Madrid's break glass in case of emergency player? The clutch kid with inconsistent numbers. For all his heroics, Rodrygo hasn't been flawless. Unlike Vinny, his league stats never exploded. He's streaky, deadly in Champions League nights, but often quiet against La Liga's defensive low-block merchants. That inconsistency made him both underrated and expendable. Coaches trusted him, but he was rarely first on the team sheet. Fans adored his comebacks, but statistically, he wasn't putting up superstar numbers. He even had a rare public spat in 2023 when he refused to shake Ancelotti's hand hand after being subbed. Ancelotti laughed it off for the cameras, but everyone knew it wasn't a good look. Rodrygo was benched in the next game. Even the nicest kids snap sometimes. Madrid's calculated gamble. Now, Real Madrid are at a crossroads. Rodrygo is tied to a contract until 2028 with a symbolic €1 billion release clause, but his market value hovers around 80 to 100 million euros. That's elite money for someone who isn't guaranteed a starting spot. For Madrid, it's tempting. Sell Rodrygo, invest in other areas like midfield depth or defensive cover, and avoid the headache of keeping a frustrated bench star. After all, Madrid have never hesitated to cash in on big names. Just ask Ozil or Di Maria, and Alonso already has plenty of weapons. With Vini, Mbappe, and Bellingham dominating headlines, Rodrygo risks becoming Madrid's very expensive super sub. The player's dilemma. For Rodrygo, it's bittersweet. He's always said he wants to stay in Madrid, and by 24, his trophy cabinet is already ridiculous. Multiple La Liga titles, 2 Champions Leagues, a Copa del Rey. Few players his age can even dream of that resume, but he also wants to be more than a rotation piece. In another team, he could be the guy, playing in his natural position every week, carrying the attack, finally stepping out of the shadows. Clubs like Arsenal, Manchester City, or Liverpool would welcome him with open arms. And let's not forget the Saudi Pro League, waving cash the size of national GDPs. It's the classic career fork in the road. Stay at Madrid, collect medals, and accept being overshadowed, or take the leap, lead a project, and become the main man. Fan favorite, global underdog. Despite everything, Rodrygo is adored by Madridistas. They call him the comeback kid, the cult hero who shows up when it matters most. Even when broadcasters hand man of the match awards to others, teammates like Vini have openly said, Rodrygo deserved it, but globally, he's not seen as a superstar. He doesn't headline Nike ads or dominate Ballon d'Or conversations. He's Madrid's humble assassin, rarely flashy, often overlooked, but always dependable. It's almost tragic comedy. The player who saved Madrid from disaster more than once still feels like an afterthought when the big names roll in. As one fan put it, Mbappe may be the shiny new toy, but Rodrygo's the one who kept the car running when the engine died. What happens next? Rodrygo's future hinges on one question. Does he want to be Real Madrid's unsung hero or another club's leading man? At Madrid, he'll always be in someone's shadow. Vini on the left, Mbappe up front, Bellingham everywhere else. He'll still score clutch goals, still collect trophies, still be loved by fans, but he'll also still be the R missing from BMV. Elsewhere, he could rewrite his story. Arsenal, City, or Liverpool could give him the left wing and let him thrive. The pressure would be heavier, but so would the recognition, and maybe, just maybe, a fresh challenge is what he needs to reignite the fire, because even heroes get tired of being sidekicks. Final whistle. Rodrygo's Real Madrid journey has been a mix of brilliance, humility, and frustration. He's delivered moments fans will never forget. The Chelsea volley, the Manchester City miracle, the Derby solo run. But he's also endured being overlooked, doubted, and left out of the hype machine. The question now is simple. Stay and continue as Madrid's cult hero, or leave and finally step into the spotlight. Either way, one thing's certain. If Rodrygo does walk away, Madrid will only realize how much they miss him the next time they're staring at a 90th minute disaster without their quiet clutch savior. And that's the story of Rodrygo, Madrid's comeback kid stuck between being a hero and being forgotten. What do you think? Should Real Madrid keep him as their clutch secret weapon, or is it time for him to finally step out of the shadows and shine somewhere else? If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like and hit subscribe. Until next time, stay clutch, just like Rodrygo.